Today on the channel, we had so many good Mattel Elites in 2022, I couldn't leave these guys off. So today on the channel, we're talking some honorable mentions for 2022.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for something special this year. As in, before I get to the top 10 Mattel Elites of all time, I thought I would do a quick countdown video. I was going to lump this all together, but you know me, I'm very verbose. It might be too long of a video, so I thought I'd do a separate quick little video, somewhat quick at least, of the honorable mention Mattel Elites of 2022. We got so many good Elites in 2022, it is absolutely mind-numbing. Gotta be the most figures of anybody. Marvel Legends giving them a run for their money, but we get consistent figures from Mattel on a regular basis. We get the regular Elite line, we get the Legends line, the pay-per-view lines, we get the Ringside collectible exclusives, the Amazon exclusives. We get so much product, it is very, very difficult to make a top 10 list. It is the hardest top 10 list to do every single year for me, but it must be done for science, as we always do say. So today I figured I'd talk about a few figures that just missed it, just outside of the top 10, and I figured we'd talk about those. Got to give those guys their flowers because there were so many good figures this year. And of course, stay tuned. We will have the traditional top 10 Mattel Elite figures of 2022, and we got tons of other countdowns on the channel that you guys have probably seen over the last month. What I am going to do, all the winners from all those countdown videos are going to go into a big Royal Rumble, and we're going to find out what is the best action figure of 2022. Some strong contenders from each of their respective brands. We're going to put them all together, and that's exactly what we're going to do. But now let's get down to it. Let's talk about a few of the honorable mentions this year. Like I said, a fabulous year for the Mattel Elite line. They did an amazing job. Can't wait to see what we can get in 2023. We know the Steiner brothers are coming. There's a lot of other cool stuff, but hopefully they got some Ultimate Warriors for me. They've been quiet on the Warrior front. They better bring me at least a couple of Warriors in 2022. I guess we'll find out what happens with that. But let's kick this honorable mention off, and we're going to start it with a brand new, fairly recent. We're going to go to the WrestleMania Elite line, and we're going to go to the American Dream, Dusty Rhodes. Absolutely love Dusty Rhodes. I've always loved Dusty Rhodes. The common man, if you will, baby. Dusty is quite the character, as we know, and we've got a lot of Dusty Rhodes figures over the year. It was about time to run back the polka dots, and I like what Mattel did. They didn't go the greatest hits direction here and just re-released it with the pinless joints and things like that. They gave us the pinless joints and things like that, but they gave us a different top. They gave us a different head sculpt. Made this one feel a heck of a lot different than the other one, and I do appreciate that as a longtime collector. And I think down the line, Greatest Hits Series 5, Series 6, I think they could run back that other Dusty Rhodes, and I don't know if anybody would really complain about that. But this Dusty is cool with the color changes here. I love the face on this Dusty Rhodes. I know a lot of people said, oh, this face sculpt, the head sculpt is absolutely terrible. Well, did you watch Dusty Rhodes during this time frame? He did this face all the time in his promos. When he was dancing with Sapphire in the ring, we saw this face multiple times. So I don't think there's anything wrong with this head sculpt, and it is definitely different. It isn't stoic. It isn't just normal head sculpt. It is something different, and that's what we need more of in action figures. Giving us some deep, deep cuts, giving us some things that are different. I would have loved to see, just for the heck of it, throw a Billy Club in here like what he took from Boss Man. Throw that cap he used to wear when he danced. Give us that as something different. I would have loved to see that, but I'm sure down the road we'll get some of that stuff as well. But this Dusty Rhodes, absolutely fantastic. A great honorable mention here. And I should say these honorable mentions in no specific order. There's no order to this list, anything, just showing off honorable mentions. Now we go to another one, another WWE Elite figure. Maybe a little recency bias, possibly, as this is from Elite 99, the last wave we unboxed on the channel as we closed out 2022. But we're going to Elite 99. We're going to my buddy that lives just down the road. You guys know my history with old Seth Rollins by now. But we got Seth Rollins from Elite 99. A very interesting one. One of those ones where the extra hands really bring out the personality, is what we see with Seth Rollins on TV over the last year. And this is the first of, I think, many Seth Rollins to come with some very toyetic outfits, as we do get a very cool robe, coat, jacket, whatever we want to call it. Got nice fur on this thing all around. You got kind of that pleather feel as well. Just very, very cool. And this is one of those figures that maybe I didn't like as much as we unboxed it, but you guys know how things go. The ebbs and flows. You see it, you're like, boy, I'm starting to like that one more. I'm starting to like it more and more. That's exactly what's been happening to me with this Seth Rollins. I know the complaints on the head sculpt is the biggest complaint. It doesn't bother me a ton. Sure, I would have loved a brand new head sculpt, but I see what they did. I understand the reasonings for it, and I think it is passable. And like I said, I think we're going to get a lot more Seth Rollins in this direction into 2023. So this one definitely deserved an honorable mention for me from Elite 99 Seth Rollins. Now we throw it all the way back to Legends Series 16. If you guys saw the countdown videos on the channel, one of the ones we did early on was, I had to do it. There was like so many Rey Mysterio figures this year, had to put another Rey in there. So we did a Rey countdown, and this was the winner of that countdown. It was Legends Series 16, the Target exclusive Rey Mysterio. I know a lot of you guys say, oh, I like the Batman Rey. I like the Starburst Macho Man Rey. I like those as well. Those are good figures. All the Reys actually this year, for the most part, were good figures. But this one stood head and tails above the rest. I love the robe. We never get robes with Rey Mysterio. This felt different. This felt new. As so many times it feels like the same old Rey over and over. It doesn't hurt that this is the ECW Rey. If you saw my top 10 Rey Mysterio figures of all time we did on the channel about a year ago, you saw that Jack's Ruthless Aggression version of this was my #1 figure. That is my favorite Rey outfit, Rey look. And that's what we got here from Mattel. So to see that ran back, see the robe, see the soft goods, a lot for me to like on this one. No doubt he was going to be an honorable mention here. Just not quite top 10 worthy for me in my final countdown. So there's Rey Mysterio Legends Series 16. Now we go back to the Elite line. We go all the way back to Elite Series 92. Who are we talking about? We're talking about the Fiend Bray Wyatt. Of course, at the time Bray Wyatt was released from his WWE contract, there was a lot of doubts we wouldn't get this figure. Well, somehow Steve and Bill and Robert and the boys and the rest of the Mattel team got this out to us, and I'm very happy they did. It is a brief moment in time in the Fiend's career, but very horror-inspired, very dark, very menacing, very ugly figure, and it definitely works and is a very good figure that is a sleeper figure as well. Even got toe articulation on this bad boy. And I will say, how good of a figure is it? Well, my daughter Emma, you've seen her on the channel, she is 7 years old. She came wandering down here the other day, and she really never pays attention to any of my figures or anything. It's just not for her. She's just an artsy girl. She likes to play with art stuff and do that kind of stuff. So figures, not really in her realm. But she, for whatever reason, was caught by this figure. It just stopped her. And I always talk about figures that you put on the shelf, that people that don't collect figures, it catches their eye. And that's what happened to Emma there. Took her down the rabbit hole of Bray Wyatt. She saw the other Bray Wyatt figures, saw the puppets, things like that. Started asking questions, and then we were off to the races. So that's the power of a figure like this to somebody that doesn't follow, doesn't collect, do that kind of stuff. So it definitely does deserve an honorable mention. The Fiend Elite Series 92, very, very cool figure right there. Now we go to another traditional Elite figure. We go all the way back to Elite 96, and we go to a female figure. And this one did get a chase this year. And this one might surprise some people, but it is Doudrop. Yes, Doudrop. Now, she is no Becky Lynch. She's no Charlotte. She's no Zelina Vega. She's not a tip-top performer, at least as of filming this video. But this figure was really cool, and this was Mattel outside of the box thinking. They could have just gave us another Charlotte, another Becky Lynch, something like that. But you know what? The Mattel team, they went a step further. They said, we got to design a new body mold. And that's what they did here for Doudrop. Got to be honest, there is not a lot of female performers on the WWE roster that have the body shape of Doudrop. So for them to invest in this figure, in a non-main event performer, I thought was a really cool idea. I'm sure they'll be able to get this body use down the road somewhere eventually. Heck, any other Doudrop figures they make. But I thought this was really cool and a really good way to get us a figure, and I just like everything about this one. It is a sleeper figure. I know Doudrop's not going to be for everybody. Like I said, it's not Charlotte, it's not Becky, it's not Sasha Banks of the world. But it is still a very cool figure, and I like that they gave us a chase because, let's be honest, what are the chances we get another Doudrop? We haven't even seen her on TV in quite some time. So I do like what they did here. They gave us a jacket with her, which is really nice as well. Just a really underrated figure that I felt deserved some flowers in the honorable mention list this year. So Doudrop from Elite Series 96. There you go. Now we go to Elite Series 97, and we go to a guy that has had so many Elites over the years. Makes your head spin. But one thing about him is he usually gets very similar Elites. There's not a lot of meat on the bone, not a lot of difference until now. And in Elite 97, who are we talking about? We're talking about that brawling brute. We're talking about Sheamus in his finest of bathrobes. We get a robe with Sheamus. We usually don't get robes. We get a bowler hat with Sheamus. We usually don't get a bowler hat. And then we get the mask when he broke his nose. So this is a Sheamus, a guy we've had tons of figures for a lot of years. Feels totally different, feels extra special, and I'm here for that right here. Very cool. Not quite top 10 worthy, but definitely an honorable mention. And Sheamus, a guy that's always kind of paint by numbers, felt different, felt special. Definitely an honorable mention for me here in 2022. Now we got only 2 left to talk about. And we got one, another, maybe recency biased, I'm not sure. But this one, we go to Amazon. Amazon dipping their toes back in the Elite line. We got a little exclusive action. Who am I talking about? We're talking about Brock Lesnar. Of course, Paul Heyman, Roman Reigns were his mates in that pack. But this Brock Lesnar was pretty special. It missing something. That thing is a cowboy hat. Of course, we got Chase and regular edition Elite 99. So if you wanted to, you could grab a cowboy hat, put him with here. I did that for the glamour shots in the unboxing. Would have loved to seen that same hat with this pack. But it's something about Brock being in street clothes, a flannel, a black shirt, just feels different. As Brock, to some degree, has some of that Sheamus action going on, where it just feels like the same figure over and over. This felt different, and that's what I like. Different is good. A very cool looking Brock Lesnar, smiling Brock Lesnar, which we've seen before. The soft goods, the jeans, which we usually don't get. One thing that holds him back besides the cowboy hat is, of course, the short stature on him. He is a little bit shorter than normal, but that's not the end of the world, to me at least. Maybe it is for you, but this Brock definitely deserved an honorable mention. And the last one I'm going to talk about here, I guess I'm going to call this the Ringside Collectible Exclusive of 2022. I think that was fair. Ringside Collectible, a great supporter of the channel. Use discount code Kyle, save 10%. You guys know I love Ringside. I've been ordering from them since the 90s, since I was a kid. Something special about getting your figures so much earlier than traditional retail. Yeah, you got to pay up a little bit, but you don't have to hunt. You don't have to fight. You don't have to do that. And guess what? Those that complain about having to pay up for figures, I'm sure they're not complaining when they're taking advantage of all the deals at the end of the year. Deals you would never see at Target or Walmart on the deepest, darkest clearances they would ever do in that back corner of the lawn and garden section or something like that. So Ringside, we really, really owe a lot to Ringside, because if they weren't there, we'd have to go to other places and it wouldn't be as fun, it wouldn't be as easy to get. So we got to give a shout out to Ringside when we talk about WWE Elite or wrestling figures in general. They've been around a long, long time. So cheap plug for Ringside right there. But we're going to go as the Ringside Collectible Exclusive of the year, no doubt in my mind, the Mega Powers 2-pack. I can't believe it took this long to get these two in a pack together. Just absolutely crazy that it took this long, but I'm finally glad they did, and man, they knocked it out of the park. Beautiful packaging here. Can you imagine if Macho Man was still alive to get their autographs on this? I'm not a big autograph guy, but this would be fabulous autographed one day. Absolutely do love this pack. I gotta tell you guys though, these two figures are not gonna be in my top 10. Both fabulous figures, but this one, like a lot of lines, and I always talk about this about the Masters of the Universe to me. Masters of the Universe is a great line, but it's the whole that brings the line together. It's not one individual character for the most part, it's the group of characters, and that's how I feel about this Mega Powers pack. On their own, these two figures are good. Put them together in the same package, absolutely phenomenal. That extra handshake hand, getting that going on, just absolutely cool. And also just an awesome collectible, awesome Ringside exclusive, possibly the greatest Ringside collectible exclusive of all time. And spoiler alert, I am working on a top 10 list for one of the recent milestones on the channel, and I think I'm going to do my top 10 Ringside collectible exclusives of all time. There's been so many going back to the Jax days. I'm going to have to do that, so we're going to do that one of these days fairly soon on the channel. Fairly soon on the channel, so make sure you stay tuned for that. That should be a really fun video to do. But this Mega Powers one just can't be beat. This was the Ringside Collectible exclusive of 2022. So there it is. There's the exclusive of the year. There's some honorable mentions. Stay tuned to the channel. Make sure you subscribe. What are you waiting for? We're counting down everything, as you guys know. And coming up very, very soon is going to be the top 10 WWE Mattel figures of 2022 as voted by me. Can't wait to see what your guys' list, and as I always say, put them in order. That's what I want to see. So I can't wait to see what you guys come up with here. But let me know in the comments down below, Give me your honorable mentions. Stuff that didn't quite make your top 10 that you wanted to give a special shout out to. Would love to see that in the comments down below, so put that down there. Of course, you made it this far, you might as well like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on the old notification bell. You guys know we got videos every single day, and then some is for sure, because I think most days we have 3 videos as of late. Also, more content, if you can believe it, over on the Patreon channel. You can get a year ahead on Jack's Classic Superstars videos. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, a year ahead. Absolutely insanity there. But check out the Patreon, your best way to support the channel. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com, search Kyle Peterson. And then don't forget social media, Sir Paul64 is where you're going to find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for the honorable mentions of 2022, I am Kyle. See you guys all real soon.